All right, now I'm going to work some practice exercises from section H of chapter 7. I'm going to start with 7H1, and these are indirect truth tables, which may seem a little odd at first, but they're actually going to speed things up, and they're really not that difficult once you understand the main concept. So let's just start with number 1 here, and I'll show you how you approach these. And it tells me that I have an argument here. I'm supposed to evaluate it and see if it's valid or not. The first premise says P or Q. The second premise says not P. And the conclusion is Q. We've actually seen similar problems to this one where we're trying to see that this is going to be a valid argument. Later on we'll call this general kind of reasoning disjunctive syllogism. But for right now you can see why this is going to be valid. One of these two things is true. It's not the first one, so it must be the second one. All right, so how do we do an indirect truth table? Well, here you're actually going to have to fill in some truth values for the first time. Right? You have the two simple statements here, P and Q, and then I have the premise P or Q, and then I have the second premise, not P, and then I have my conclusion, which is Q. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, you'll notice they have not written out the usual or haven't provided for the usual full set of rows, because with an indirect truth table, you're basically going to be skipping some steps, so you won't have all of the rows. So how do you know what to skip? Well, the key idea is this. If I'm testing for invalidity, I know there's only one scenario I'm really looking for. I'm looking to see if there's ever a situation where the premises are true and the conclusion is false. So the only row that really matters is a row where this conclusion here, in this case Q, is false. So I'm just going to go ahead and set Q to false. That's the only scenario I need to really worry about. This is where the indirect truth tables really save you a lot of time. You just ignore all the other rows. So I'm going to set my conclusion to false and see if it's possible for the premises to come out true. Okay, so here Q again is going to be set to false. So what do I need to set P to if these premises are going to come out true? Well, I'm going to start with this one right here. Since Q is false and this is disjunction, the only way the disjunction can come out true, right, and the only way this premise is going to be true is if P is true. So I'm going to have to set P to true to get this premise to come out true. Right? So then P will come out true, disjunction will come out true. That's the main operator there. So that's good. So now P here is true, right? But now look what happens. The negation here, right, tilde P, the negation is going to come out false, right? And I don't usually circle the simple statement itself when it's the main. It's not really an operator if it's the thing, but in the interactive exercises it does want you to circle that as well. But if you look and see here, if I set Q to false, right, which is what I need to have invalidity, then I have to set P to true to get this premise to come out true. But when I do that, this premise comes out false. So what that shows you is there's not going to be a row where the premises are going to be true and the conclusion is false. So since I've just now seen that that cannot happen, this argument must be valid. And I only really need to look at one row to see that. Okay, that's how you do that.